Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're talking about Treasure Map vs. Pudding that is about to drop on OPTC Global. It's coming out on the 16th of February, all the way up to the 20th of February. So it is a 5-day Treasure Map or 4-day Treasure Map, however you want to look at it. But if you're like me, that's a good thing, because I need limit break materials so badly, and Treasure Map is the only way to get those. Well, the best way to get those, I should say. So let's have a look at what the character does, first of all. This is the unit that we are farming for. She does have fear resistance with her limit break key, but I haven't actually looked at what she does, so let's find out together, I guess. She will be a 1.35 times booster on the Treasure Map as well. I haven't actually incorporated her into any of my teams, but I think we'll just have a talk about that, and I think I might just slot her in somewhere along the way. But she's on a 25-turn cooldown. What? Changes cruise, tandem, and recovery slots to own type, and heals full HP. Okay. After launching the special, applies the same special effect at the start of each battle for 3 turns. Special effect. Does that mean like Law's like non-dying thing? Or like resilience or something like that? I don't think that's buffs. So it will stack for 3 turns. Okay, that's interesting. That's really funky. Okay, fair enough. I mean, then you can heal back up. I mean, seems like she's just built for Law. As a captain, she boosts in characters by 3.5 and their HP by 1.2 and has special reverse by 1 turn. So, not a bad free-to-play captain, to be honest. She's boosts in characters, reduces special reverse, and just has stats for her support. Why does she have fear resistance? That's odd. I mean, I don't really see the point of having fear resistance on something like this. Oh, she has special charge at the start. 10 turns, though. Okay, if she started with her special, that'd be better. I don't know how I feel about this pudding. The artwork, though, is fantastic. But other than that, shooter-driven, 2 of the worst classes in the game. It's looking like a bit of a Treasure Map Boa repeat by the look of it. But, I mean, Treasure Map Boa's had her uses nowadays. Alright, so as you guys know, she does have a limit break key with the 3rd ability. Reiju is going to be added to the Treasure Map shop, which is very, very good. You really want that Nami and Sanji to be added as soon as possible if you guys didn't max them out. If you guys can, definitely hang around in the New World for extra drops. We'll have a quick look at the boosted list before we hop into the teams and have a look and see what characters are boosted. So we do have the new Sanji, who's 2.2, the new Lin Lin, which is 2 times, and the Chiffon, which is 1.7. Now, I will let you know I did not do any summons on the Treasure Map Pseudo Fest. Just wasn't feeling it this time, and like Hawkins is on the banner, who's the only legend I'm missing, but it's just, I just couldn't really be stuffed, to be honest. Next we have Mihawk, and we have Law as our 1.5 times boosters. Pretty small 1.35 times list. We have the Shanks and his batch. Why Shanks is not 1.5 is beyond me, but look, it is what it is. We have Pudding, Nami Sanji, Boa and Buggy. We have the Rumble units. We have the Straw Hats from the Limited Rare Recruits, and then we have the Rumble Coliseum old Kazuna, well, a lot of Kazuna units here. Kazuna Kid, Kazuna Kaido, the Rumble, Moria, and Perona, and then we have page 1. Then we go down to our 1.2 times boosters, and we have a lot of 1.2 times boosters. Not a lot of legends, though. The Summertime Batch is boosted, which is nice. A couple Coliseum units that have been out for a little while. That's pretty nice. And yeah, so pretty good boosted list. We've got our 1.1s down there. But in this video today, we will be having a look at the teams that I have put together for you guys. I've tried to keep them like high points, but I've also tried to keep them as fast as possible for you guys. So before we hop into the teams, though, I do have an infograph here. Shout out to Pyro Man. Sorry, if you are watching this video, brother, I just could not figure out a way to properly get the better quality picture of Discord. I just had just a bit of a computer noob, to be honest. So our mini bosses are against Reiju, Ace, Luffy, and Katakuri. The Reiju boss apparently starts off fairly easily. As you can see here, she has a lot lower attack, and I think she has a lot lower HP as well. I'll have to look into that too. I think she's like 500k HP. I will put a link to the original Reddit post for this infograph if you guys do want to check it out. Make sure to send Pyro Man some love. He does an awesome job putting these together. So big shout outs to him. Ace is our next sub unit. Then we have Luffy and we have Katakuri here. I think Katakuri is probably the hardest of the 4. As you can see, he does like a whole bunch of nasty stuff. Changes, it gives you 9 out of 10 to remove sound effects. He does a whole bunch of nasty stuff. Then we have Sabo on the interrupt here, which is awesome. Koala's part of that interrupt there as well. And then we have stage 4 against Sanji there. And then, obviously, Pudding is the final boss. So, once again, shout out to Pyro Man. Thank you so much, Frankie House. And let's hop into the teams. So, for the first fight, we come up against Reiju. So, what Reiju actually does is she basically just despairs your top row for 3 turns, which is nothing really to worry about too much, as you can just remove that with sockets, to be honest. Like, that's pretty much it. But they do give you the recommend characters of Luffy or the free-to-play Robin. But the team that I've put together for you guys is actually led by this guy right here, the Pirate Rumble Enel. His captain ability is just going to basically make it so much easier in the early stages to just fly through the early content. And because she's on such a low HP pool, I think around 500k, you can just use Kaido's special at the end here to just do 1 million damage and actually kill. This is probably the only use Kaido is going to have moving forward. So, I mean, if you farmed him up, like, now's your time to use him, right? We do have Yasop on this particular team as well. Yasop can give us despair removal as well if you don't have sockets for whatever reason. Then we've just got Viola and Big Mom for a chain lock and an orb boost if we end up needing it. Plus, Yasop does have the Lucci support for extra color affinity. And then we have the driven attack boost on our Enel to give us an attack boost to our driven units, mainly just for Enel himself. So, as you guys saw in the early stages, just utilizing Kaido to just blast through Reiju's HP pool will work very, very well. But if you do not need, if you don't have sockets, then you can use someone to remove the despair. So there are a few other good units that you can use to remove despair as well. But like I said, guys, like if you guys have where are we? If you guys have max sockets, you guys are fine to get around that. But as mentioned in the recommended units, this is the Robin they're talking about to remove the despair. She does 3 turns of despair removal. Then obviously you can use Luffy to just give you super typing, just to easily win. But I'm going to be using Enel, this free-to-play Enel, this team. You can easily chop and change. You can take Yasop off for any other side unit, really. Will work absolutely fine. So let's move on to the next team now. So the next mini-boss is against Halloween Ace. Halloween Ace is a Psy unit, and on the final stage, he actually gives you a full board of unfavorable orbs, 5 turns of paralysis, 1,000 times defense up for 5 turns, and he's immune to delay. So that's his preemptive, and that's where this unit here, the Gecko, Moria, and Perona, the recommended unit, is absolutely amazing, as they actually remove paralysis, drastically reduce the defense, and then give you a conditional boost against defense down by 1.75. So they basically remove all of the nasty things you have to get around on the Ace stage, and the rest of the team you can sort of just fill out with whoever you really want. So the leader I'm using on this for this team is Colosseum Kid. So Colosseum Kid is a captain, is a striker, and a shooter. Attack booster, and then he does 5 times his attack in dex damage at the end of turn. But if you don't have this kid, or you haven't farmed him up for whatever reason, I definitely would farm him up. He's one of my favorite Colosseum units. Then you could use Treasure Map Enel here as well. As he has the starting cooldown for his special charge for 11 turns, he starts with his special. So that way you can actually use his special as well on the first turn, and then you can use this, like, for 2 turns you get that into damage. You can use the next one on the next turn, and then against the final stage against Ace, you can drop your Perona and Moria special, and that way you can just get through all the nasty defects that Ace places on the crew here. So we have an orb booster here with Kizaru. Kolgara and Nolan are literally just here because they're a striker. You can replace them with anyone that you guys like. And then we have Buggy here as well. Buggy actually removes defense up as well. So that's another option for you guys if you wanted to get around that, if you were struggling in those higher levels where the defense is so high that you need to remove it. Buggy's going to actually do that for you as well. But if you need Buggy on another team to remove other defects, he can also be replaced in this team as well. We do have Lucci for color affinity on the support, and again we are using Shiki for attack up against driven units. So that team's going to work for quite a while against Ace. I couldn't really see how much HP Ace starts with. I think it's around 900k from what I can see here. Like I said, I couldn't get the infograph to, like, sort of yeah, I think it's around 900k. I couldn't get the infograph into its proper form, so I do apologize there, Pyro Man. But look, it is what it is, man. And that's the best I could do. But like I said, there will be a link to that in the description below. If this video is helping you guys out too as well, make sure to belt that like button. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. as these videos do take a little bit of time to put together. So I appreciate all the love and support. The next team we are going to talk about, though, is against Luffy. So Luffy is a Psy unit as well. This treasure map is built around Psy and Int units. Mainly Int because of the Halloween slashes that just came out. But basically against Luffy, you bringing Croc and bringing Robin are going to be the easiest way to get through this mini-boss. So they put up 4 turns of paralysis. He has a 3,000 burn for 5 turns, and he has attack down for 80% for 5 turns. So literally just with Robin and Croc, you can remove all of these defects. Robin's going to remove the paralysis by 4 turns, Croc's going to remove the burn, the attack down, and it works very, very well. So this team is actually led by the new Kazuna Kid. Now, I understand we did get shafted on Global with Kazuna, but I hope you guys farmed this unit up, especially if you are in New World, as he is going to be very, very similar to what I've been doing with Enel and Colosseum Kid. His captain ability is the 3.75 to strengthen int, which is very, very good. He does 3 times recovery at the end of turn and makes strength and int orbs matching, but his special ability deals 200 times his attack in int damage to all enemies for 4 turns. So you can use his special on turn 1, get cooldowns, get end of turn damage, and then just blitz your way through the mini-boss and get to the final stage after using the second Kid after it runs out. They both have special charge at the start. Yours and the friend should, as this was a free rainbow unit. And that'll get you to the end of the mini-boss. Now, at the end of the mini-boss against Luffy, this is where you can just use the Croc special to remove the burn and attack down, and then you can use the Robin special to remove the paralysis. The rest of the units that you put on this team, you can just fill this team out with just attack boosters and stat boosters, as Croc also gives 2 times color affinity to this team as well. We do have Ben Beckman on this team. He is an orb booster for us. Plus, he also gives Psy orbs matching, so it's a little bit easier to get a good orb roll with that orb buff. But you can replace him on this team with any other character that can give you a higher attack boost or a higher orb boost. Same with Conus here. I just threw Conus on here because both of these guys are 1.35 boosters. But what other units that you could definitely use, you could easily just chuck on... Oh, what's going on with my boosted units here? You could just make an int team here, and you could use someone like Kobe Helmeppo for an attack boost. If you have Legend Zoro, you could use him. You could use Treasure Map Whiteboot for an orb boost as well. He would work very, very well. You have Colosseum Neptune, you have Clash Carrot. You have so many options for this particular team that you don't need to be using those 2 units that I'm using. I'm just using them because they're high point boosters. The big thing is just bringing Kid as your leader so you can fly through this content, and then bring Robin and Croc to remove those nasty defects. So this team should work very, very well for quite a while. I'm not 100% sure how much HP Luffy has. If we can go to the infograph, I think it says around 800k he starts with, and he goes up by something like 8k per level or something like that, or 800 per level, something like that. So that's the team against Luffy. Should work very, very well, and should be very, very fast. On to the next mini-boss fight. We come up against Katakuri. Now, Katakuri is by far the hardest of these boss fights. Like, by far. So, against Katakuri, look at all this stuff he does. We have one recommended unit, which is VV. Now, I think because this treasure map was pushed forward, as Jinbei was actually meant to be our next treasure map, because of the anniversary and the Halloween unit's meant to come out after the anniversary, I think we are missing actual treasure map Jinbei from this particular piece of content here, because I was sort of reading up what treasure map Jinbei does, and he actually has the ability to remove special binds. So that's where I think we sort of again get cucked on global with our time schedule, but that kind of tends to happen with the anniversaries being like off timings with Japan, as well as being like having our like joined celebrations as well. So against Katakuri, he is going to make a slot unfavorable. He is going to remove sound effects, which I've been told is for 99 turns, and I think I saw that in the infograph as well. He's going to chain lock us, but a 1.1 times, just 5 turns, and then special binds us for 7 turns. Now, the only character that can get around that is actually utilizing the rare recruit Rebecca, who is a 1.2 times booster for this treasure map, but the way that I'm getting around it is I'm actually going to use Nami and Sanji as my leaders. Now, because Nami and Sanji are the leader, they don't actually get special binders. It's only the special bind's only on the crew. So with yours and your friends Nami and Sanji special bind, you can actually get around that, but you're utilizing the 10 turns, and then you can get the higher attack boosters for them with their dual units. They are orb boosters as well, which is very, very good. The next unit on this team is the recommended unit, which is VV. Now, VV actually removes sound effects completely. So, the 99 turns to remove sound effects is going to be completely gone. I hate bringing units to get around it, but 99 turns is disgusting. So, I'm just going to be bringing this this VV, and I'm just going to let her remove that completely, as it is very, very annoying. Next, we have Chopper on this team. He's just here because he's a fighter. He's a 1.3 times booster. You could easily replace him with anyone you like. I would probably recommend trying to get a Psy, Fighter, or Free Spirit unit, though. So let's have a quick look at the list here and see what you guys could use. Again, you could use this this Rebecca if you really, really want to remove the special blind and then use her special as well. She's also a color affinity booster as well. You could, again, use Kobe Helmeppo. He's an attack booster. You've got Smoothing Oven for orbs, or you've got the Ambush Sengoku for orbs. You've also got the Clash Sabo. Clash Sabo could also be a color affinity booster for you guys. So you do have other options besides this Chopper, but because he's a 1.35 booster, that's why I'm bringing him on my team. I have this Super Type Luffy as my another sub on this particular team. But if you need to use this Luffy on, say, the well, if you're using my teams, then you shouldn't need to. But you could also use him as a leader, I guess, as for the super typing. So you could do something like this, and then bring a friend, Nami and Sanji, as they remove 5 turns on themselves. And then you use the friend one first, and then you guys know what I'm saying, right? But it's up to you, whatever you want to do there. Luffy's an attack booster. You can use his super typing to get orbs as well. But because of the switchability of Nami and Sanji, you can also rotate the orbs for your free spirits and your fighters as well, which is basically 5/6 of this team. The last unit on the team is Page 1. Now, Page 1 doesn't fit on this team, like in terms of buffs, but he does remove the chain lock from 5 turns, and he gives our own chain lock. Now, if you need Page 1 for another fight, you could bring Big Mom, the Summertime Big Mom unit. If we can find her here. Yep. Not that one. If we go Big Mom, she has a 2.75 times chain lock for 3 turns, and you could use her on the turn before, carry that into the final room, and then that way you don't have to worry about the 1.1 times chain lock. But with my team, I'm actually just going to be using Page 1 so we can remove it and then give us a 3.5 times chain lock. And then if you just start hitting with him on the chain, he's the one that's going to attack first, so he's not going to have the 3.5 times chain lock anyway. As if you use everyone else's specials, you can get a massive 3.5 times chain lock with our boy Page 1. So that's the team that I'm going to be using against Katakuri. It's very, very annoying. He's probably the hardest of the mini-bosses, but in terms of the mini-bosses, they're really not that tricky at all. And to get around their defects is actually pretty simple, to be honest. If you have the Rebecca as well, she's just going to absolutely clap this. I'm actually not going to be bringing the Rebecca, as I'm literally just going to use Nami and Sanji's leaders. They're a 1.35 times booster as well, so it just means more points for me, as I will not be using too many gems on this treasure map. Alright, so now we can finally move into the final boss against Pudding. So against Pudding, she is a Psy unit, and on stage 4 of the fight, I think we come up against Sanji. I'm pretty sure we come up against Sanji. Yeah. So against Sanji, he's going to give us 90% attack down for 3 turns, and then he's going to do a random behavior, which I've been told is 2 turns of a random orb barrier, if that is correct. So he has 2 million HP to... Oh, no, the Pudding, that's Pudding. He has 500k, and then he has, yeah, it's 2 turns of barrier at a random color, I think it says there. So, once again, sorry about the quality of the infograph there. The link is in the description once again. So, with that, that's going to be a little bit annoying to get around if it is a random color every single time you do the fight, but there is a way around it. So, on Battle 5, we come up against Pudding. She puts up Paralysis on the right middle row for 5 turns. She does reduced damage taken by 80% for 5 turns. She has Threshold for 5 turns, and she's immune to delay. So, if you have a look at the recommended characters list here, they do give you the recommended unit of obviously Mihawk being the leader, as he removes Paralysis and damage reduction, which is very, very good. And obviously the 3 treasure map boosters are designed for this last fight. They're going to work very, very well if you have them, and if you do, I would definitely recommend putting them on your team, as they just get around all the nasty defects, they give you lots of points, all the basic treasure map stuff, you know. So for my team, though, we are utilizing Mihawk as our captain. Mihawk special removes the damage reduction. He has built-in paralysis removal into his captain, which is super, super strong, super, super handy as well. Next, we have Halloween Lore. Halloween Lore on this team is our orb booster. If you guys don't have a Halloween Lore, do not stress. Just bring any orb booster whatsoever. I'm using Halloween Law because he's a higher point multiplier, obviously. But like I said, Treasure Map, Whitebeard would work very, very well. You've got the Colosseum Kizaru. He could work very, very well. You do have a lot of options. If you would, like, say, use Treasure Map, Colosseum Kizaru on this team, you could use the Treasure Map Boa where I had Colosseum Kizaru. There's lots of things that you guys can do there. Next, I have Halloween Shanks. You knew I was going to find a spot for Halloween Shanks on the final team. I was going to use him as a mini-boss stage, but I just wanted to try and make as fast as possible teams for you guys. And utilizing the kids and the annals, like, that was the easiest way to do it. Shanks is going to give us a 2x color affinity to our Cerebrals and Slashes, which basically this whole team is. And gives us a chain boost as well. So he's going to work very, very well. Also 1.35 times booster. Next, we have the new Boa on this particular team. She's going to remove the threshold by 5 turns. Now, if you don't have this Boa, say you didn't summon on the Halloween banners at all, even if you got very, very unlucky and you didn't pull a say on your free multi or something like that, there are a couple other units that you can use. You do have this Kobe Helmeppo to start with. He's very, very good. They can remove it by 4 turns. Or you could bring this kid. Now, Kobe Helmeppo is up at the moment. You can farm up that unit, and that would work. Or you could actually bring Treasure Map Boa herself. Or you could also bring Treasure Map Reiju. Any of these units will remove Threshold, and that's really the big reason why Boa's here. For me, I'm using Boa because she's a high point booster, but as you guys can see here, there are a lot of very good units that you guys can use to actually take this piece of content out. You also have this unit here, the free-to-play Bonkichi Brook. That will remove by 3 turns, and they do paralysis too, so that's another option for you guys. But if you don't have Mihawk yourself, I would definitely be trying to bring a friend Mihawk if you can, as he's so good for the final fight. The final unit that I have on this team is actually this Robin. Now, I do understand that a lot of people don't have this Robin. She removes attack down, burn by 5 turns, and defense up, but that last part doesn't really matter. But if your captain is a strength or int unit, she also reduces barriers. So what I plan to be doing with this Robin is I'm actually going to be using her on stage 4, so that way she can remove the attack down, and she's going to remove the barrier that gets inflicted to or the random barrier. So that's how I'm going to be getting around Sanji and his barrier mechanic. But for you guys that don't actually have this Robin, whereabouts are we? You do have the option to run this Blackbeard. This Treasure Map Blackbeard, he actually reduces barriers by 1 turn. Now, I do understand that obviously that barrier is 2 turns, but you can just stall it out, to be honest. But you can use this Blackbeard if you really want to. Unfortunately, though, you will have the attack down. So that is actually probably a bigger thing to worry about, as the attack down is for like 4 turns, where the barrier is only for 2. So I would bring someone to remove the attack down, and the biggest unit that you could bring is this Croc. Now, Croc is amazing for the other fight, so I wouldn't bring him, but you can if you want to. But the unit that I would be bringing is actually this Colosseum Neptune. This Colosseum Neptune will reduce attack down by 5 turns, and he gives you an orb boost. So, like, no, you're probably not going to use the orb boost unless you get lucky with orbs, but at the same time, you do really want to try and get rid of that attack down. But if you did summon like me on those Straw Hat banners and you have that Robin, it's going to work very, very well. And obviously, if you have the Treasure Map units, I think the Chiffon is the one that gets around that as well. So Chiffon's very, very good to remove the barriers and the attack down as well. I think it's Chiffon. It might be Big Mom. I can't really remember. But in saying that as well, if you do bring a friend Mihawk, or if you do have like Law yourself and you're running like Law Leader with a friend Mihawk, all these Halloween units, they all have barrier penetration. So that's another like way you can get around these barriers. And I think the Boa has it as well. Yeah, she has it as well. So you can just utilize an attack down remover like Colosseum Neptune, as all these units are cerebral as well, actually. And then you can just blast your way through the barrier with Barrier Pen, as you probably won't be taking too much damage along the run anyway. So that's going to work very, very well against Pudding. That's the final boss stage. But along the way, we do have an interrupt against Sabo. So Sabo is a Psi-type unit, and he is a little bit annoying. So the recommended units, obviously besides the Treasure Map boosters, is bringing Law as your captain for this particular fight. All int units get cooldown by 10 turns, so very, very important that you bring a full int team. You get empty slots, you're binded top row by 5 turns on stage 2, And then you have delay immunity. So to get around the 5 turns of bind, you can easily use a support, because with sockets, it'll actually go down to 2 turns. So you can use supports like Corazon, V1 Rayleigh, Neko Mamushi. There's a lot of good bind removers that you can actually use, or even the Straw Hats as well. That's another option for you too, the Straw Hat Pirates. The free-to-play one we got from the Escape from Ennis Lobby event. And then on the final stage against Sabo, we're going to get Special Reverse on our top row for 1 turn, Despaired for 5 turns, Chain Growth Multiplier reduced to 0.1 for 5 turns, and then we have a Delay Immunity. So this is the team that I'm going to be rocking. I'm going to be using Law as my leader, as he completely just removes Despair. I won't have to worry about that. And with the support of Corazon, we can actually remove the bind on the turn before that. On this, it's like turn 4, I'm just going to be utilizing my Law special because he has that amazing carryover effect. And that way I can carry his All Buff into the final stage. Onto the final stage, I have Ben Beckman here to remove the Chain Decrease debuff. But if you guys just bring any Chain Locker, you can bring like Page 1 on this team. He would work amazingly. He's a 1.35 times booster. He's going to give you a Chain Lock himself. That way you can get around it very, very easily. I have Yasop on this team. Yasop can remove the bind if you need someone to remove bind. But like I said, if you got sockets and you got support, that's going to easy clap it. But there is this Yasop for you guys if you do need to get around it that way. I think that's the main reason why I brought the Yasop. Yeah, well, Yasop reverses specials too. So like Yasop could also bring your specials back if you didn't want to use the Law special on turn 4 or you forgot. Mihawk is going to be our attack booster. Nothing too special with Mihawk there. He's just a very good attack booster. You guys could bring Kobe Helmeppo. There's a lot of, as you guys saw throughout the video, there are a lot of good int units that are boosted. Finally, we have Shanks. Shanks is here as our color affinity booster. Again, this team is just built around just getting as many points as possible and me trying to complete it as quickly as possible. With these last 2 teams, I'm going to try my best to find the boosters whenever I can. I do have some friends that did pull them, so hopefully that they'll happily reset my game when I pested them. So there you guys go. There were my treasure map teams. Nice and fast for you guys to take down the new treasure map pudding. Let me know how you guys are going to go in this treasure map. I plan on going pretty hard just so I can get as many limit break materials as possible. But I won't be spending too many gems. And keep an eye out because I will be streaming on like Wednesday, Thursday in Australia for me. So like the day the treasure map goes live, I should be streaming for about half an hour into that. And I'll be streaming a little bit later that night and then the following day as well. So pop by the streams if you really want to. And if you do want to have early access to any of my stuff, we do have memberships going at the moment too, guys. So if you're feeling a bit generous and you want to support your boy even more, become a member today. We have 3 very affordable levels that give you a lot of really cool perks that I am working on for the future as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to belt that like button. And if you want to stay up to date with more OPTC content I post, hit that big red subscribe button as well. But guys, most importantly, wherever you are in the world, enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I thank you guys for watching and I will catch you all in the next one. Lates!